Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at celebrities who have found themselves behind bars. Fame and fortune once kept them out of trouble, but not anymore. From minor mistakes to serious scandals, these stars are now facing the consequences. Let's see who's serving time. In October 2009, former MMA fighter War Machine surprised many by transitioning into the entertainment industry to supplement his income from fighting. During this time, he appeared in several films and began a relationship with well-known star Christy Mack. However, his personal and professional life soon spiraled downward when he was sentenced to a year in jail in 2010 for assault. Upon his release, War Machine discovered that Mack had moved on and entered a new relationship. This led to a tragic incident on August 8, 2014, when War Machine, in a fit of jealousy, forced his way into Mack's home and assaulted both her and her partner, Corey Thomas. The incident left Mack with serious injuries and was widely covered in the media.
Verdict. We, the jury in the above titled case, find the defendant, War Machine, a.k.a. Jonathan Copenhagen, as follows.
In 2017, War Machine faced a trial and was convicted on multiple charges, including kidnapping. He was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 36 years. His fall from the world of mixed martial arts to a life in prison stands as a stark and tragic story. What's better than starting the day with a delicious cup of tea and watching this fascinating video together? For a time, Oscar Pistorius was one of the most inspiring athletes in the world. After losing both of his legs as an infant, the South African sprinter defied all odds to become a celebrated athlete. He made history by competing in both the Paralympic and Olympic Games, showcasing that a physical limitation does not define one's potential. However, in the early hours of Valentine's Day 2013, Pistorius's heroic story took a dark and tragic turn. That morning, he fatally shot his girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp, a well-known model, through the bathroom door of his Pretoria home. Pistorius claimed he mistook her for an intruder, but authorities doubted his account, as there had been signs of tension in their relationship in the months leading up to the shooting. In October 2014, Pistorius was convicted of culpable homicide and sentenced to 5 years in prison. However, his early release less than a year later for good behavior sparked widespread outrage, fueling calls for a harsher punishment. In November 2015, the initial conviction of culpable homicide was overturned, and Pistorius was found guilty of murder. His sentence was increased to 6 years in prison, a decision that many found shockingly lenient, given the severity of the crime. Prosecutors have since continued to push for an extended sentence, arguing that justice for Steenkamp has yet to be fully served. Buck Zumhofe, known as the original rock and roller in the wrestling world, had a modestly successful career in the 1980s, competing for promotions such as the AWA and Pro Wrestling America. By the time he signed with what is now WWE, his career had declined, and he was primarily used as enhancement talent to help showcase other wrestlers. One of his notable moments in the ring was being the first wrestler to be placed in a body bag by WWE legend, The Undertaker.
I'm Rock and Roll Buck Zumhofe. I drink and I chase women and I've got...
However, Zumhofe's wrestling legacy was tarnished by his serious criminal actions. In 2003, he was arrested and charged with multiple offenses following accusations of long-term inappropriate behavior. This case revealed a disturbing pattern in his past, as Zumhofe had already served time for similar offenses during the 1980s. He was found guilty of the charges and sentenced to over 25 years in prison. His reputation in the wrestling world has been overshadowed by his criminal actions, leaving a dark mark on his legacy. Joe Giudice, known for his appearances on The Real Housewives of New Jersey, is now facing a harsh reality of his own. While most of the show's spotlight was on his wife, Teresa Giudice, Joe found himself at the center of attention in 2015 when he was revealed as the mastermind behind a bankruptcy fraud scheme. Both Joe and Teresa were convicted, but it was Joe who received the harsher sentence, as he was also charged with failing to file tax returns between 2004 and 2008.
Whatever floats her boat. I mean, if she's into, whoever she's into, then that's fine.
In March 2016, Joe began serving his 41-month sentence at New Jersey's Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institution. Reports suggest that adjusting to life behind bars hasn't been easy for him. While Teresa completed her sentence and returned home, she has spoken about the strain this has placed on their marriage. According to her, Joe has been calling her from prison, often leaving abusive messages when she doesn't pick up, further highlighting the ongoing tension between them. Joe's rise and fall from reality TV stardom serve as a reminder of the consequences that can follow when real-life legal troubles spill over into the spotlight of reality television. Sam Hurd, once a promising NFL wide receiver, saw his career and life take a disastrous turn due to his involvement in illegal drug activities. A standout college football player at Northern Illinois University, Hurd entered the NFL with high hopes, joining the Dallas Cowboys. However, his time in professional football was overshadowed by substance abuse issues that plagued him almost from the beginning. On December 14, 2011, Hurd was arrested in a sting operation when he attempted to purchase a significant amount of cocaine and marijuana, allegedly intending to sell the drugs for profit. His legal troubles deepened the following year when he violated his bond by failing multiple drug tests. In an attempt to mitigate the situation, Hurd's attorney claimed that the former athlete had been struggling with personal issues and had succumbed to peer pressure during a vulnerable time in his life. Despite these efforts, the court showed little leniency. Hurd pleaded guilty to the charges, and in 2013 he was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. Currently serving his sentence at FCI Bastrop in Texas, Hurd's downfall serves as a stark reminder of the impact that poor decisions and involvement in illegal activities can have. Abby Lee Miller, once a prominent reality television star, has sadly become another name on the list of fallen celebrities. There's something about these Z-list stars that seems to prevent them from living a normal life after their moment in the spotlight. Many seem to end up in jail, rehab, or worse. While there may be some exceptions, Abby Lee Miller is certainly not one of them. Miller skyrocketed to fame in 2011 when she became the star of Dance Moms, a reality show that followed her relentless pursuit of pushing young dancers to compete and win. Her harsh, no-nonsense approach to teaching and her fiery personality kept audiences hooked, leading to a few spin-off shows. However, her time in the limelight dimmed when legal troubles surfaced.
I don't know. It happened so fast. There were no weapons. No. I don't know where security is because they certainly weren't helping me.
In October 2015, Miller was indicted on charges of fraud. Authorities revealed she had been hiding her earnings in a secret bank account, allowing her to take advantage of bankruptcy claims she filed in 2010. In a deal with the IRS, Miller pled guilty to lesser charges in hopes of a reduced sentence. Ultimately, she was sentenced to 366 days, spending 9 months in the Victorville Federal Correctional Institution. Bobby Shmurda, like many rappers, made a name for himself by rapping about crime and street life. But unlike most artists who stick to just lyrics, Shmurda decided to take things a step further by actually living out the dangerous persona he portrayed in his music. Back in 2014, at just 20 years old, Bobby Shmurda's career was on the rise. His hit single had reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100, and things seemed to be going well for the young rapper. However, that same year, Shmurda's legal troubles began. In June, he was arrested and charged with weapons possession after police found him brandishing a gun in his friend's apartment. Then, in December, things escalated further when he was arrested again, this time facing a much more serious charge: conspiracy to commit murder. Despite being under investigation, Shmurda's troubles continued behind bars. He was caught attempting to smuggle a knife into Rikers Island, further complicating his legal situation. By September 2016, with multiple charges stacked against him, Bobby Shmurda accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to third-degree conspiracy and weapons possession. He was initially sentenced to 7 years in prison, but that was increased to 11 years after a shank was found hidden in his cell. His fall from a rising rap star to a prison inmate remains a cautionary tale in the world of hip-hop. Pop star Gary Glitter, once famous for his glam rock hits in the 1970s, saw his career collapse in 1999 when he was convicted of serious offenses involving minors. After being found guilty of possessing illegal materials, Glitter served a 4-month prison sentence in the United Kingdom. Following his release, he left the country and lived in Cambodia, but was expelled in 2002 due to further suspicions of criminal behavior. Glitter then moved to Vietnam, where he faced additional legal trouble and was convicted of similar offenses, leading to further prison time. Upon returning to the United Kingdom, any attempts to revive his career were overshadowed by new accusations. In 2012, Glitter became involved in a major investigation related to the misconduct of late TV presenter Jimmy Savile. British authorities uncovered more allegations against Glitter, including a serious charge involving an underage victim at the BBC. Glitter was arrested and charged with multiple offenses, and in 2015 he was found guilty of several charges. He was sentenced to 16 years in prison, likely spending the rest of his life incarcerated. Ian Watkins, the former frontman of emo band Lost Prophets, shocked the world and devastated his loyal teenage fan base when he was arrested in late 2012 on a series of charges involving minors. Known as the voice of the outsider and an inspiration to many, Watkins' downfall was a blow few expected. Initially, both fans and bandmates supported him, but they were forced to withdraw their support when the true extent of his crimes were revealed.
Has uncovered the most shocking and harrowing child abuse evidence I've ever seen.
Watkins ultimately admitted to several charges, including the possession of illegal material and other serious offenses. To avoid exposing the jury to distressing evidence, the court accepted his guilty plea. He was sentenced to 29 years in prison, along with an additional 6 years on extended supervision. Since his imprisonment, Watkins' health and appearance have reportedly worsened, with significant physical changes making him almost unrecognizable. While some former fans and bandmates still visit him, his reputation as a musician has been permanently damaged. Jared Fogle, a household name thanks to his dramatic weight loss and Subway's famous Subway diet, became a symbol of change in the early 2000s. After losing a significant amount of weight by eating Subway sandwiches, Fogle was quickly tapped as the chain's spokesperson, a role he held for an impressive 15 years, from 2000 to 2015. But the man once celebrated for his weight loss success faced a major scandal in the summer of 2015. That year, Fogle's home was searched by authorities due to an investigation into his involvement in unlawful activities. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that Fogle had been engaged in inappropriate behavior involving minors. The scandal caused Subway to swiftly end its relationship with him. To avoid further legal consequences, Fogle accepted a plea deal, admitting to participating in illegal activities, including crossing state lines for inappropriate purposes. Despite the plea deal, Fogle was sentenced to 15 years and 8 months in federal prison, 3 years longer than prosecutors had originally requested. Michael Jace gained fame for his portrayal of Officer Julian Lowe on the FX police drama The Shield and appeared in notable films like Forrest Gump and Boogie Nights. However, a tragic event occurred at Jace's residence in the Hyde Park area of Los Angeles. Jace was involved in a fatal incident with his wife, April, witnessed by their young sons. During the trial, it was revealed that Jace, who had been drinking heavily, acted out of an irrational fear and jealousy. He was found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. Addressing the court during his sentencing, he expressed deep remorse, acknowledging, "There is absolutely no justification for my actions on that night. I am profoundly sorry for the pain that I've caused everyone." Jace is currently serving his sentence at California State Prison Corcoran. This story is a sobering reminder of the severe impact of domestic violence and the importance of seeking help in times of distress. If you like this video, please donate me $2. I will reward the staff who made this interesting video. Next up is Joe Sun, who rose to fame after transitioning from his roots in South Korea to becoming a professional mixed martial artist in the United States. Although his career at the Ultimate Fighting Championship ended with an unremarkable 0-4 record, he found greater success in acting. Notably, he portrayed antagonistic roles in low-budget action films alongside Lorenzo Lamas and Dolph Lundgren before gaining widespread recognition as the villainous Random Task in 1997's Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. However, Sun's life took a dark turn in 2008 when he was arrested for vandalizing his roommate's car. This incident led to a plea deal requiring him to provide a DNA sample, which unexpectedly linked him to a cold case from nearly 2 decades earlier. On Christmas Eve in 1990, Sun and an accomplice abducted a young woman and subjected her to severe trauma. During the trial, the victim recounted the harrowing experience, including Sun's chilling declaration that he was giving her to himself as a Christmas present. Subsequently, Sun was convicted of felony torture, as the statute of limitations had expired on the sexual assault charges. He was sentenced to 7 years to life. Tragically, just a month into his incarceration, Sun was involved in another serious incident, resulting in an additional conviction for voluntary manslaughter and a further 27-year sentence. Harvey Weinstein, co-founder of the movie company Miramax, rose to fame in the 90s for producing critically acclaimed films such as Pulp Fiction and Good Will Hunting. He even won an Academy Award for producing Shakespeare in Love. However, Weinstein's reputation took a dark turn when years of rumors culminated in a New York Times investigation that featured accounts from over a dozen women accusing him of sexual harassment and abuse. A subsequent New Yorker article revealed even more allegations, leading nearly 100 women, many of them famous, to come forward with their own stories of Weinstein's misconduct. In 2018, the New York District Attorney's Office charged Weinstein with rape, criminal sex acts, sex abuse, and sexual misconduct involving two separate women. Actor Annabella Sciorra testified against him, describing her experience. Weinstein was found guilty and sentenced to 23 years in prison. He faced additional charges in Los Angeles, receiving 16 more years, and British prosecutors also authorized charges against him for indecent assault in London. Weinstein is currently serving his sentence at New York State's Mohawk Correctional Facility, located about 100 miles north of New York City. Next up are reality stars Giudice and Todd Chrisley. Todd and Giudice Chrisley gained widespread recognition with their reality show Chrisley Knows Best, which debuted in 2014. However, in August 2019, legal troubles surfaced as the Chrisleys faced charges related to tax evasion, bank fraud, and wire fraud. They were accused of evading nearly $2 million in state taxes, concealing over $1 million of reality TV income from the IRS, and falsifying income and asset documents. Despite initially pleading not guilty, the couple eventually faced trial. Prosecutors revealed that the Chrisleys exaggerated their wealth to banks, submitted false documents, and borrowed over $30 million to maintain their lifestyle while hiding money from the IRS. After a nearly 3-week trial, Todd and Giudice were found guilty of conspiracy to commit bank fraud, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and tax fraud. Giudice was also convicted of wire fraud. Their sentences were steep. Todd received 12 years, and Giudice got 7 years. Currently, Todd is serving his sentence at the Federal Correctional Institution Pensacola in Florida, while Giudice is incarcerated at Florida's Federal Correctional Institution Mariana. Jen Shaw gained fame as a cast member on Bravo's The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, known for her sharp one-liners and dramatic presence. However, in March 2021, Shaw faced criminal charges related to conspiracy to commit money laundering and wire fraud. Alongside her assistant, she was accused of orchestrating a telemarketing scam targeting primarily older victims, extracting substantial sums of money for services like website building and business coaching that ultimately held little to no value. Reports revealed heartbreaking stories of victims like Trisha, a 75-year-old from North Carolina, who invested over $47,000 in coaching for her business aspirations. Another victim, World War II veteran Ralph Hick, lost more than $100,000. Tragically, Hick passed away at the age of 92, with his family attributing the scam as a contributing factor. Text messages exchanged between Shaw and her co-conspirators discussed strategies to keep victims engaged and spending more money. Initially claiming innocence, Shaw eventually pleaded guilty to wire fraud. She received a 6.5-year prison sentence and is currently incarcerated at the Bryan Federal Prison Camp in Texas, with parole eligibility set for August 20, 2028. Darren Sharper, now 48 years old, enjoyed a 14-year career in the NFL as a safety, playing for the Packers, Vikings, and Saints. His accomplishments include being a 2-time All-Pro and a 5-time Pro Bowler. Notably, he was part of the Saints team that secured a Super Bowl victory in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. However, Sharper's life took a dark turn in 2014 when allegations surfaced that he had drugged and sexually assaulted 2 women, one incident occurring in West Hollywood and the other in Las Vegas. Legal actions were initiated in 2015, but the terms of the settlements remain undisclosed. In 2016, Sharper faced significant legal consequences. He pleaded guilty or no contest to charges of drugging and sexually assaulting multiple women across several states, including California and Nevada. As a result, he was sentenced to 18 years in prison. This dramatic fall from grace underscores the severe repercussions of his actions and serves as a stark reminder of the responsibilities and consequences that come with public life. Shannon Richardson, though not widely recognized, achieved a modest level of success through her roles in shows like The Walking Dead and The Vampire Diaries. However, her name gained infamy in 2013 when she sent poisoned letters to prominent figures, including former President Barack Obama. Richardson mailed a series of letters laced with ricin, the same poison featured in the TV series Breaking Bad. These letters were specifically addressed to Obama and New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg. At the time, Richardson was going through a divorce and attempted to frame her ex-husband Nathan by falsely claiming that he had sent the letters. However, a thorough investigation revealed the truth. As a result, Richardson was convicted and sentenced to 18 years in prison. This shocking turn of events turned a once modestly successful actress into a notorious figure. If you don't like this video, give me $2 and comment below. I will punish the people who created this content. Chris Wu, originally from Canada, catapulted his K-pop success into opportunities within the English-speaking entertainment industry. Formerly a rapper and singer in the South Korean boy band EXO, Wu, whose real name is Woo Yifan, shifted his focus to a solo career and acting in films during the mid-2010s. He played prominent roles in Chinese blockbusters like The Mermaid and Journey to the West, The Demons Strike Back, as well as in American big-budget action movies such as XXX, Return of Xander Cage and Valerian, and The City of a Thousand Planets. However, in July 2021, a woman filed a complaint with Beijing police alleging that Wu coerced her into a sexual encounter in 2020. According to reports, Wu invited her to his home under the pretense of an interview related to a music video appearance. There, he allegedly used alcohol to intoxicate her. Following this accusation, more women came forward with similar claims, and other celebrities and teenage girls attested to Wu's online misconduct. As a result, Wu faced serious legal consequences. He was arrested, tried, and ultimately convicted in November 2022. The Chaoyang District Court found him guilty of rape and sentenced him to 13 years in prison. In a crime that seems straight out of a Coen Brothers movie, Ice Road Truckers, Deadliest Road star Timothy R Ziku assaulted and kidnapped a woman named Snow White, only to bumble right into a sting operation she cleverly devised on the spot. The incident began when Ziku gave her his ATM card to pay for her services. He later accused her of withdrawing too much money and arranged a meeting the next day to settle the alleged overpayment. During the meeting, Ziku reportedly doused her with water, assaulted her, and locked her in a closet, demanding she provide a phone number of someone who could get him the money. Displaying quick thinking, she gave him the number of a Vegas cop. Ziku called the officer, threatening to kill her unless he received $1,000. The cop set up a meeting and arrested Ziku, who unwittingly confessed to his crime. He was ultimately sentenced to 5 to 15 years in prison after pleading guilty to 2 felony charges, first-degree kidnapping and extortionate collection of debt. This bizarre and shocking story is a testament to how reality can sometimes be stranger than fiction. Colin Rashad Walker, a 27-year-old Los Angeles rapper and actor, was sentenced to between 50 years and life in prison for multiple sex crimes against 4 women and 3 teens. Convicted on multiple counts, including forcible rape, Walker was described as a predator by LA Deputy District Attorney Cynthia Wallace. He is now required to register as a sex offender for life, despite being acquitted of some charges, and an appeal is planned. Walker targeted aspiring models on social media, gaining their trust before committing the crimes. Victim Sydney Stanford, supported by others, spoke out, emphasizing the importance of justice. Walker's lawyer claimed that revenge motivated the accusations, although none of the victims knew each other before coming forward. Zack Avery, whose real name is Zachary Horwitz, was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for orchestrating a $650 million Ponzi scheme. He falsely claimed that investor money would be used to buy the rights to HBO and Netflix movies for overseas distribution. The U.S. Attorney's Office also ordered him to pay $230 million in restitution to the victims. Horwitz portrayed himself as a Hollywood insider, leveraging his company's supposed ties to major streaming platforms. However, his victims eventually discovered that he was not the successful businessman he claimed to be, but was merely playing a role. His film credits include The Devil Below, You're Not Alone, and Curvature. The FBI revealed that the scheme involved a 2015 investor report listing 52 movies that were allegedly distributed in various jurisdictions. Horwitz is accused of transferring most of the proceeds to his own use, defrauding over 250 investors through his company, 1MM Capital, from 2014 until his arrest in April 2021. Suge Knight, co-founder of Death Row Records, played a pivotal role in shaping the West Coast hip-hop scene during the 1990s. His influence extended beyond music, making him a prominent figure in the entertainment industry. However, alongside his success, Knight faced a series of legal challenges that would ultimately alter the course of his life. While on the set of the NWA biopic Straight Outta Compton, Knight was involved in a violent altercation with Terry Carter and Cleabone Sloan. Knight allegedly ran over both men with his pickup truck, resulting in Carter's tragic death and Sloan's severe injuries. The incident led to Knight being charged with murder and attempted murder. As legal proceedings unfolded, Knight's defense team negotiated a plea deal. Eventually, he pleaded no contest to voluntary manslaughter, a lesser charge than the initial murder accusation. In 2018, Knight received a significant sentence of 28 years in prison, with eligibility for parole set for 2034. This marked a dramatic turning point in the life of an influential music industry figure. Ryan Grantham, a successful child actor, rose to fame as Rodney James in the 2010 movie Diary of a Wimpy Kid. He later appeared in the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus and featured in an episode of the CW's Riverdale. Over his career, Grantham accumulated more than 30 acting credits across film and television. However, tragedy struck when, at the age of 21, Grantham was involved in a serious criminal incident, resulting in the death of his mother in their British Columbia home. Following this incident, Grantham initially planned further actions, but eventually turned himself in to authorities. During the legal proceedings, it was revealed that Grantham had been suffering from significant mental health issues, including major depressive disorder and a cannabis use disorder. Grantham pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. During his sentencing, he expressed a commitment to rehabilitate himself and help others. He is currently serving his sentence and will be eligible for parole in 2036 after serving 14 years. This case highlights the impact of mental health issues and the unexpected turns that can occur in anyone's life. Skyler Delon, formerly known for his brief role in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, faced a tumultuous life that led to a shocking end. He was sentenced to death for robbery and murder aboard a yacht in 2004. Born John Julius Jacobson Jr. on August 12, 1979 in California, he changed his name twice, citing abuse from his father. Finding brief fame and fortune as Skyler Delon, he appeared in the Power Rangers series and a few children's shows. However, his life took a dark turn when, at 20, he was discharged from the U.S. Navy for unauthorized absence. By 2002, DeLeon was married with 2 children and facing severe financial struggles. This led him and his wife to turn to crime. Their criminal activities escalated, culminating in the robbery and murder of a couple who were selling a yacht. During a test run, they coerced the owners and threw them overboard, disposing of them at sea. Despite the bodies never being found, a confession from one of the accomplices years later sparked legal action against DeLeon and his wife. Amy Locaine, an up-and-coming star in the early 90s, made her debut alongside Johnny Depp in John Waters' cult classic Cry Baby. She later gained critical acclaim for her role in Blue Sky, which earned her a Young Artist Award nomination for Best Performance by a Youth Actress in a Motion Picture. Additionally, she was a regular on the hit primetime soap opera Melrose Place. However, she eventually retired from acting to focus on raising her family. On the night of June 27, 2010, Locaine was involved in a tragic car accident. She was driving over the speed limit when she collided with a car driven by Fred Seaman, resulting in the death of Seaman's wife, Helen. Locaine's blood alcohol level was found to be significantly above the legal limit. Locaine faced legal consequences for her actions and was convicted of second-degree vehicular homicide and assault by auto. She initially received a 3-year jail sentence, which was later deemed too lenient by an appeals court. As a result, her sentence was increased to 8 years. During her time in prison, Locaine has joined Alcoholics Anonymous and is now sober. She is currently incarcerated at New Jersey's Edna Mahan Correctional Facility for Women, with eligibility for parole on December 20, 2024. Danny Masterson, best known for his role as Stephen Hyde on That 70s Show, also starred in Men at Work and The Ranch, where he reunited with his That 70s Show co-star Ashton Kutcher. In 2017, the Los Angeles Police Department launched a sexual assault investigation into Masterson after 3 women accused him of assaulting them at his home between 2001 and 2003. The victims alleged that Masterson provided them with alcohol and, when they became disoriented, forcibly raped them in his bedroom. Despite maintaining his innocence, Masterson was arrested on 3 counts of forcible rape. The first trial ended with a hung jury, but a retrial the following year resulted in Masterson's conviction on 2 of the 3 counts. He was sentenced to 30 years to life, with the possibility of parole after serving 25 years. Masterson is currently incarcerated at the California Men's Colony in San Luis Obispo. A significant aspect of this case involves the Church of Scientology, to which both Masterson and all 3 victims belonged. The victims claimed that the church tried to protect Masterson from accountability and discouraged them from reporting the assaults to law enforcement. One victim mentioned visiting the church's Celebrity Center in Hollywood to report the assault, only to be warned against using the word rape. She was told that contacting the police could result in excommunication from the church and loss of contact with her Scientologist family and friends. Please comment number 1 to let me know that you will be with us until the end of this video. Next on the list is Toby Willis of the Willis family. In 2016, Toby Willis, the 48-year-old patriarch of the Willis family, gained national attention after appearing on America's Got Talent and starring in his family's TLC reality show, The Willis Family. However, his life took a dark turn when he became the subject of a serious investigation involving sexual abuse. Willis pleaded guilty to 4 counts of child abuse and was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Cheatham County Circuit Court Clerk Julie Hibbs confirmed that Willis received 2 25-year sentences and 2 40-year sentences, all to be served concurrently. He was arrested following an investigation by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation into the abuse of a young girl approximately 12 years prior when she was between 9 and 12 years old. He was apprehended in Greenville, Kentucky, after attempting to evade arrest by hitchhiking. The fall of Toby Willis is a harrowing reminder of how even the most seemingly wholesome families can hide dark secrets. Now let's delve into another shocking case involving a once beloved figure who turned into a notorious criminal. Next up is mixed martial arts star War Machine. During the explosive rise of mixed martial arts in the 2000s, War Machine, formerly known as John Copenhaver, emerged as one of the sport's notable figures. His career, spanning from 2004 to 2013, boasted 14 victories alongside 5 defeats, with 8 of those victories secured via knockouts or technical knockouts. War Machine showcased his skills across various prominent mixed martial arts circuits, including Extreme Fighting Championships, Bellator, MMA, and UFC. He even took part in the UFC's reality TV series The Ultimate Fighter. However, less than a year after his final bout, War Machine became involved in a serious legal case. In 2014, he entered the Las Vegas residence of his former romantic partner, where he assaulted her and a friend who was present. Facing a total of 31 charges, War Machine was found guilty on all but 2 counts of attempted murder. He was subsequently sentenced to life imprisonment, with the possibility of parole in 2053. Drew Drexel, the American Ninja Warrior champion, has agreed to plead guilty to 2 felony counts. He was disqualified from Season 12 of the NBC competition after being charged with sex crimes that could result in a life sentence. The charges stem from an incident where he allegedly met a young fan at an event, invited her to his gym, and engaged in inappropriate activities with her. Drexel is currently being held at the Federal Detention Center in Philadelphia following an FBI investigation. The U.S. Attorney's Office accused him of producing explicit material that enticed minors to travel for illegal acts and using interstate commerce for these purposes. Drexel admitted to having relations with the victim, but claimed he did not know her age. His guilty plea includes charges related to explicit material and unlawful conduct. Count 1 carries a minimum of 5 years and a maximum of 40 years in prison, with a maximum fine of $250,000. Count 2 involves solicitation of travel to engage in unlawful conduct and carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison and a fine of $250,000. Joe Exotic, born Joseph Allen Maldonado Passage, is better known as the Tiger King. This American convicted criminal and former zoo operator was born in Garden City, Kansas, and owned the Greater Wynwood Exotic Animal Park in Oklahoma, gaining notoriety as a tiger breeder. Joe Exotic also made 2 unsuccessful bids for public office, running for President of the United States in 2016 as an independent and for governor of Oklahoma in 2018 as a libertarian. In 2019, Joe Exotic was convicted on 17 federal charges of animal abuse and 2 counts of murder for hire. The latter involved an alleged plot to kill Carol Baskin, CEO of Big Cat Rescue. He was sentenced to 22 years in federal prison, though the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit ruled in July 2021 that this sentence was excessive. Joe Exotic's story gained widespread attention with the release of the 2020 Netflix documentary Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness, which chronicled his zoo operations and his feud with Baskin. While in prison, Joe Exotic was placed in quarantine within a security housing unit due to contact with someone who had COVID-19. Following a flood of letters from his fans, he was moved to a room with a hospital bed and a window. As of July 20th, 21, Joe Exotic remains incarcerated in Texas.
Thank you for watching my video. There are many other interesting things in the next videos. Please look forward to it. Thank you and goodbye.